Welcome back. The Newschannel.3 I-Team broke the story this week that some local attorneys are asking a judge to be disciplined for alleged misconduct because of, quote, extreme bias in a civil case.
We reported yesterday allegations and affidavits that the I-Team uncovered from court files. The affidavit stated that Van Buren County Circuit Judge Paul Hamre joined in on a demeaning conversation, talked at length about a case with attorneys on only one side of it, and actually trashed documents from the attorneys on the other side of that case.
Judge Hamre denied he had what's called ex parte communications or a conversation with lawyers from one side. He didn't address some of the specific allegations, though, after the I-Team pressed for answers multiple times.
Newschannel 3's chief investigative reporter David Bailey is here now to tell us why there's another twist to what is already a bizarre story.
Good afternoon. Well, it turns out the people who brought all these allegations to light regarding Judge Hamre were criminally charged with trespassing recently in Van Buren County. Questions about these charges were raised in court documents we obtained. On one side, there are folks in Van Buren County who are denying any wrongdoing or retaliation here. There are people on the other side from Kent County who say they're victims of injustice and some bogus criminal charges.
People versus Robert Baker, and again, that's you, correct? Okay.
We were in the courtroom as Bob Baker faced criminal charges for the very first time in his life. Charged with trespassing in Van Buren County, and he's not happy to be here.
Bottom line is we did nothing wrong.
He thinks he's being charged with a crime in retaliation for questioning the integrity of Circuit Court Judge Paul Hamre.
It seems a little bit suspicious to me. If there's some reprisals or getting back at me for some reason.
This situation began when Baker filed a lawsuit late last year in Judge Hamre's court to collect a big debt. In October of 2012, Baker obtained a court order stamped by Judge Hamre to collect hundreds of these storage trailers to make up for the debt owed by ELC Company. But in March of 2013, Baker says Hamre signed a second order cutting the number of trailers he could obtain, costing him money. Baker says the change happened when local attorneys from Paw Paw, Gary Stewart and Kelly Page joined the case. Court documents filed by Baker's attorney detail what they think happened. Quote, it seemed that Judge Hamre and attorneys Kelly Page and Gary Stewart had a relationship beyond one of common professional courtesy to information that had never been stated in any judicial proceeding and attempted to use that information to take from plaintiff and give to defendants. Baker says his fears were confirmed when he and his attorneys sat in Kent County on one line of a conference call while Judge Hamre, Stewart, and Page were together in Paw Paw in the judge's chambers on another line.
They thought we had hung up on the line, and they did not hang their phone up.
Affidavits and court filings from the four on the line in Kent County detail what happened next. Quote, it became a conversation of profanity, name-calling, and ex parte collaborations concerning the pending case. Plaintiffs' attorneys were called derogatory and degrading names, and the disdain for them was evident. Judge Hamre began interjecting his opinion of the case, even going so far as to imply he knew what the plaintiff wanted and that it was not going to get it, and that he was going to order an injunction on Monday. Baker's attorney asked the judge to recuse himself for this, but Judge Hamre, in a court answer, refused to step down based on the allegations in the affidavits. The judge wrote, quote, the court is unaware of any appearance of impropriety. In 4 different subsequent communications from the judge, 3 of them directly with the I-Team, Judge Hamre said he didn't have ex parte communications, but he also didn't answer all of our questions. Defense attorney Gary Stewart, who was with Hamre during this alleged conversation, told us, quote, they certainly didn't hear us have the conversation described in the affidavits. After Baker and his attorney asked the judge to recuse himself, they say they were notified they were being charged with crimes for an incident back on April 9th. Baker charged with trespassing, his attorney charged with trespassing and assault during their attempt to review the books from that business they're trying to repossess, ELC. A deputy's report from the incident indicates Baker's attorney, Donovan Visser, was trying to take documents out of the company but was being stopped by employees there. The report says cell phone video of some of the confrontation was recovered as evidence. The deputy wrote in conclusion in his report, quote, I reviewed the videos that were downloaded from this phone and did not find anything criminal in nature, although I did notice several subjects inside of the ELC putting their hands on Visser as he marched around the inside of the office trying to remove paperwork and computers. Baker says he was never told to leave the property and even showed us a picture of his truck being blocked in by vehicles, suggesting he couldn't leave anyway. What further muddies this situation is the fact Judge Hamre allowed Baker in an order from last year to come into the business to review records with proper notice. So why the charges? Baker's attorney alleges in a court filing that attorney Kelly Page got involved with it. Quote, it came to plaintiff's attorney's attention that Kelly Page was seen having a spirited conversation with Van Buren prosecuting attorney Michael Bedford concerning the events on April 9th. Upon information and belief, Kelly Page and Gary Stewart utilized relationships within the judicial system to enact retaliation against plaintiff and its attorneys.
It's suspect, the timing of all this.
Prosecutor Mike Bedford's office did approve the charges. We asked Bedford to comment on camera regarding issuing these charges, but he chose to give us a statement. He told us the criminal charges were approved 2 days before the conference call with the judge happened and the subsequent request for his recusal. Bedford told us, quote, I am comfortable in saying the chief assistant prosecutor and I have reviewed this decision and we don't find anything irregular with it. Bedford said the alleged conversation with Page about the criminal charges never happened and fired back at the plaintiff's attorney, Don Visser. Quote, I'm not going to let his bully tactics interfere with my duty to protect our citizens. The cases are going to be tried in a court of law and not in the media. We called Kelly Page's office for a response regarding the allegations in the court documents. He didn't return our phone call. In several statements in court documents and to the I-team, Judge Hamre also denied any involvement in the filing of criminal charges. By the way, Judge Hamre recused himself from the civil case because he wrote that he could be a witness in the criminal cases. He told us in a statement he wanted to avoid any possible appearance of unfairness. It turned out last week Prosecutor Bedford decided to drop the misdemeanor trespassing charge against Baker because he assumed Baker was just following the lead of his attorney. The charges against Baker's attorney have not been dropped. The next court date is in mid-July. David Bailey, News Channel 3 I-Team.